Why, hello there. Oh, fix that. Yeah, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, you're probably wondering what is this kind of unusual event about. And I've got to say, in regards to what's been going on, well, sadly it's been a long time, hasn't it? Indeed, I've been largely still as busy as ever, and actually, on that note, yeah, I find that with regards to RuneScape itself, it's unfortunate really, because what I've found with full-time work, and this is probably something that many of you can relate to, is you have to really start putting things in perspective of balancing things and whatnot, and it's unfortunate really, but such is life, eh? You know, such is life. You can't do the things you used to, you know, like 6, 8, even 10 hours, you know, a day. RuneScape, nah, doesn't happen anymore. And it's like, yeah, sure, I can still, like right now, working from home, I can still probably put in at least 3 or 4 hours a day if I want to. The temptation to actually do multitasking, yes, that little devil of a question, you know, working on RuneScape as well as working on actual work. It's a real one, I'm not going to lie, but, well, one, I'm nowhere near good enough to multitask with work even if I wanted to, and two, nah, I've tried, just like, theorise, alright, you know, if I do this, can I do some on the side? Nah, fuck. You know, I've noticed, with the resolution I have at the moment, it's actually near fucking impossible to concentrate, both on RuneScape, and never mind anything else, it's just, nah, this resolution isn't working for me, and it's like, it's crisp and clear, really nice and nice, but it sucks for playing RuneScape on, and it's not even that much smaller, it's like, it's playable, but it's not what it used to be, unfortunately. No, yeah, seeing that Blue Bible clan chat, yeah. Unfortunately, we're being a bit boring this time, so I had to switch him up for something a bit more exciting, I suppose a bit more of a classic one of sorts. I just had to think of this for a bit, because there's many clan chats, but which one to celebrate this most iconic event on? Because indeed, yeah, why am I actually on this? That's a good question. I've been recording for like 3 minutes almost, and I've not even fucking said anything about it. Well, fuck. In regards to what I'm going to be recording today, yes, this isn't your normal rodeo event, and it's not Christmas, certainly not Easter, and fuck no, Halloween's ages back. Yeah, this is, indeed as you say there, well, what's the little fancy banners for? Happy birthday, or not actually, happy anniversary. Yes, this is no on the, because you may be thinking, well, okay, well, oh yeah, crumb, pay attention to that one, because that's going to be a big one, and later on in the video. Yeah, so, okay, this is January, but the event doesn't start till, I think, is it the 10th of February? Yeah, so what's the deal here? Well, on the, if I'm getting the date correct, I hope I am, the 4th of January 2001 is when RuneScape Classic was born, or I guess just RuneScape as a whole. And yeah, this iconic RPG, British Medieval MMORPG, you know, it's indeed survived quite the legacy 20 years down the road, and it's still lasting, although unfortunately RuneScape Classic, as we knew, is gone for good, but we've still got survived by the, I guess, RuneScape 3 and its older / younger kind of cousin in the form of Old School Runescape, which is the one I mainly play nowadays, because RuneScape 3 is, it's unfortunately unrecognisable in the sense that, nah, even if I wanted to try and give it a go, even back then it's just like I couldn't get my head around two MMORPGs, so it's just like, better just to stick to the one that you enjoy more than, nah. You know, it's a funny one of that, to be fair, but alas. So, yeah, this event is, it's something to be said. And you probably notice as well, yeah, I'm actually currently multitasking as well. I've actually got 2 accounts on the go, me and my out self, Skylar. Yeah, I figured I'd try something a little bit interesting like that, getting 2 of them to kind of tag along with each other. And it turned out to be quite intriguing, and yes, very intriguing in fact. Yeah. Well, I've got to say, in regards to this one here, you might notice it, and if you paid attention with that little demon section. Oh boy. Yeah, this is taking our place at the top, the classic wizard tower. and that where we're saying, well, I think it's actually, I may have actually covered this earlier with one of my videos, although I'm not 100%, I'm going to check on that actually. Actually, no, I haven't. So I'm actually behind on the news for this one. Oh, shenanigans. Alright, okay, so I may as well jump ahead with this one because, yeah, you're wondering, what the fuck is that weird gnome Phil doing there? Yeah, the green one. Oh, there's so much more to say about that, but essentially jumping ahead with the news way off on that. As part of their outlining a new, I don't know why I've got the GG for it, it's not a good game or anything like that. Yeah, basically outlining a roadmap. You know how those live services have been pretty much going on, like their roadmaps. Some of which been successful-ish, but most part it's been a crap fest, and it's just like a way to kind of postpone the disappointment or something, outrage or whatever. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Well, alongside outlining it, they've revealed their plans for a 20th Runescape anniversary event. You know, this whole telling, I think Morass had a big part to do with it. Yeah, he was pretty much playing up with the whole paying homage to RuneScape's early days, and way back to 2001, 2, 3, 4, and a bit of 5 as well. It's really way before my time, essentially, when I first started right at the end of 2006. And you know, that's when I got introduced to it, when I was almost, 6 years late to the party. And that, but yeah, you know, RuneScape indeed, you know, there was a... Yeah, I could have actually confirmed this myself if I'd bothered to get far enough in Runescape Classic, but alas I didn't. And I only got as far as 3 days in, and I was just like, it's nice, but that's me, I'm not fun at it. I was planning actually to make a return to it of some sort, but alas I never did. Indeed, no, I did not. Oh man. You know, it's unfortunate really, given that, as far as my history goes with RuneScape, there's a lot to be said. I think I've spoke at length for the previous one, but yeah, this is basically, you'll see all of it and more, and believe me, there'll be some surprises later on in this video, which, yeah, just for the record, this will have to be combined. There's no way I can do this in one single video. It is nigh on impossible, and I'm even worried I can't do it in two, but we'll see how that goes. Right, but yeah, alongside with that, basically, they have a new section for quest speedrunning. Yeah, the speedrun community will be thrilled to hear about that, you know, the fact that they're now finally getting some tension, yeah. Now they can speedrun quests and all that. I don't know how extensive it goes, like, you see, there's a bit of a problem, what the fuck? Yeah, there's a thing with regards to quest speedrunning that I find intriguing, that it involves, there's a lot of RNG, believe me, RuneScape is fucking notorious for RNG, but there's also human RNG, and I shit you not, this is probably what makes, I would not be surprised that a lot of streamers don't feel like streaming RuneScape for, you know, speedrun, because, yeah, if even a few people pay attention, all it takes is one or two dipshit to keep interfering with your speedrun, and then no, you could be on a good record card, you easily lose a minute or two just due to human interference and that, and I'm not fucking joking when I say this, that is, yeah, that is understandable. Like, you can deal with bullshit, say, oh, why am I getting crap RNG, you know, hitting like less than average or something, you know, or like just basically skill training and all that, that's fine, but what isn't fine is when, you know, like, yeah, basically tits are going to get in the way and screw up your record. So I say this is going to be set on a new world or something, so people who are like, I don't know how it works, but probably that would be it, like you can only play it if you're speedrunning, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they handle that, but I think quests will be a lot easier because it might be instants, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it'll be very fun indeed to see when that comes up. Right, also yeah, rune crafting boss, thank fuck, yeah, they finally got the idea of, what if there was a way that was like, you know, potentially, I don't know if they'll go down like, what is it? They might go down the route of either it's really good profit, but the experience isn't going to be superb, or they'll go, it's really, like, potentially one of the best, fuck off, yeah, one of the best experience methods, but obviously the money's not going to be very fucking good. I suspect it'll be less a case of, oh, it'll be rune money good, and rather they'll have a unique or two in there that's potentially fairly valuable. So runes will be not too bad, but the big one is unique that you can only get from doing that boss. So that'll be interesting. You know, a gigantic pouch, film 15. I mean, that'll probably be untradeable to be fair, but that would be quite interesting. But I don't know what other ones they could include. Maybe a rune crafting outfit. I mean, again, that'd be untradeable. So it's kind of which ones would be tradable is the question. So unless that comes an enhancement that you can buy or some of that, who knows? But yeah, it should be an intriguing one nonetheless. So other than that, there's a also this is a funny one because Swords War's already been out and that's been, well, fun. But there's also yet another minigame that they're proposing that is a 3-team minigame. Yes, not 2, 3. And this brings back memories, you'll probably not really remember this, a GT Online deathmatch I did way back in 2014 where it was called Tri-Pilot. There's one building that had 3 little roofs. And essentially I had the genius idea of having 3 different teams of 6 each and fight against each other in a 3-way kind of match, creating that interesting dynamic. You've got 3 different factions and you know, one could go over the other. It's kind of a weird balancing one, you know, it's very interesting, I've got to say, but yeah, I don't know if regards to Swords War because there's a lot of manipulation behind it and that's where it gets all fucky with regards to, you know, people. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, I'll say that much, but who knows where that'll be. And also it features not just PvE, but skilling alongside PK, not PvPing. Yeah, correct terminology here, yeah, because PvP would involve actual fair-on fights. PK is just somebody being a tit and hunting down a helpless victim or somebody who doesn't want to fight back in case they get skill tricked. So, correct terminology. Also, yeah, that blue party act shenanigans. Yes, I know Queen Brit can't have something to say about that. Oh boy. But yeah, so, anywho, that aside, one last one. Hunter's Guild. Yeah, another one that's like, Hunter kind of deserves a treatment of Farming Guild where you just basically, you train birds till you get to lizards, you train lizards till you get to chinchompas, and you either do that or Herbiborn, and that's it. You know, there's so much content like the butterflies, the little beasts in that, the jungle, desert, and snow, and there's also, I think, kibits or something? Yes, kibits, and now, so just that again. Right, here we go. Perfecto. Yeah, so, in terms of that, yeah, you know the usual farce, and that also up to just, there we are. So yeah, just that kind of stuff, and it's the usual shenanigans as far as you go with regards to what I suspect. Also, get to check here. Yeah, the usual shenanigans as far as actual, I guess, content skilling goes. It's very much an intriguing one as far as the eye sees, but alas, will it work out, or I don't know. I think they'll probably manage to make it somewhat useful, but just how useful exactly, that remains to be seen. So, with that in mind, I guess we'll just have to see how it fares, but until then, well, yeah, I reckon probably, yeah, that should cover that. So, don't know if you see that there, nope. So, yeah. Alright, next one on the news, and actually I want to correct myself in regards to the certain, let me see, I think it was the last one standing Twitch. I was supposed to do this a little while ago, but as you imagine, I've not had much time to make videos, so yeah, apologies for this, but yeah, essentially, to correct myself, I think I said on the last time Twitch and that, something about how it was cancelled, like, on the spot or something. Either that or it was, like, weeks ago. No, it turned out there was a 2-day cancel thing, which pretty much, yeah, yeah, it's still a bit of a farce with Mod Rogue, and she's been awfully quiet. I think she's not leaving the head mod as eSport anymore. So, that's been fun, and that, you know, the community is, I won't say in a similar case to America right now with regards to politics, and oh boy, yep, the Trump and the Biden, yes. It'll be interesting how America fares with the whole social culture war that's going on at the moment. Will it spell out like it did with Capitol Hill? Who knows? Time shall tell, and that time shall tell indeed, but alas, so, Also, what I wanted to mention is, yeah, this quest called Getting Ahead, and it's first of a series of Twisted Tales, which it's supposed to, words, yeah, it's supposed to expand the Corrend area. Suspiciously though, what I found is that this quest here, you do remember the very last quest I did, a Porcine of Interest, you know how it's like a Witcher kind of style, when you go to a board, you talk to somebody, hunt some creature down, and you know, that shenanigans. Yeah, this one's suspiciously similar, and Getting Ahead, and yeah, ahead, you know, and it's like pretty much, oh, this one, now you have to get the head of something that is headless, but it's in the very same fashion, which is interesting. Yeah, like creativity bankrupt indeed. Oh boy. Also, we speak in hands and that right at the end of this video, I suspect, but alas. So, with regards to this shenanigans here, yeah. So, obviously the Twisted Tales and that, you know, it's just pretty much, well, you know how it goes. But as far as this event, also, yeah, indeed, that, yes, 301 days, 10 hours, 44 minutes. I actually thought this would have been later on in the video, and, I didn't think, also, yeah. So yeah, we're doing this now, and I thought this was left right at the end of the video. I guess not. So, yeah, indeed. Also, you'll probably expect this censor, so I'll have to be funny about that. But yeah, indeed. How long has Sif Skylar been here? Yep. 68 days, 9 hours, 20 minutes. In total, yeah, you combine that, that's probably about, fuck, you're talking about, Jesus Christ, that's like 370 days and that, 24, that would be, oh my god, that is a lot. You're talking about somewhere around the region, if I do my maths, roughly that would be, I'd say 8,800 hours coming up from 9,000, like, holy fuck. Yeah, that is a lot of time to be spending on the one game, but unfortunately now that I'm working full time with my financial job, it's not quite the same kind of time I could be spending. As you understand, it's, nah, you know, no longer can I spend the luxurious time of being able to do as I please and not just chilling out, you know. Not like the days when I would say when I was unemployed back then, as well as even starting the job part-time. Nah, it's not the same, but that's a sacrifice you're willing to make, and I figured, well, if it's part of maturity just growing up, well, so be it. I mean, at least the transformation is not being painful. It's not like, oh no, I need to play, so you're like, you know, I just feel like fucking shit. It's not like that. I mean, fuck, you know, drinking like 8 months ago, I was drinking Pepsi Max for fucking years. I'm talking about like, I think, actually over a decade in that, since I think teenager, 13, 14. Went off blackcurrant and all that fruit juice entirely, and went on Pepsi Max for well over a decade, and the caffeine damages my teeth, fuck me, but I went off that as a sort of, fuck it, I'll try some new, you know, just, as long as I get the fucking fruit drinks and now they don't run out halfway through, which so far hasn't, and yeah, 8 months in, I have no compelling to go back to Pepsi other than if I get cans or the fancy glass bottles, and you know, they're always nice and ice cold. Can never refuse that, but they're expensive, so that's a little counter deal on that, you know, it's like, if I want to go for it, gotta pay up. And it's only like, I'm too financially sensible to, you know, buy on them hordes, so, yeah, that's my little limitation right there, so, yeah, I think the other thing to talk about before this first half runs out, yeah, so, I believe this is well-known news at this point, but yeah, a massive combat diary also includes a fancy, and I believe I forgot to mention this in the last video, a really fancy, actually, the first time I found out was entering challenge through Boaty when he did a little custom, challenge thing with the J-mods at RuneFest, I think. I'm not sure how it unfolded, but essentially he got to face 6 entire Infernal Jabs, and he got fucking pumped. And even when he did it the year after, he still struggled and he died. That challenge will now be officially available as part of this combat diary in order to get a fancy new, I think it's I forget, as far as I remember personally, it is not a, what's it you'd call, hold on, yeah, it's not a, fuck, it's basically not an Inferno pet, it's rather Tok Jad, the Fire Cave pet, or Fight Cave's pet, I keep getting confused, will get the Inferno transmog to the Tiz Kaljad, I think that's how it is, Tiz Kaljad. So that's what you have to do, and I believe you have to complete the Inferno at least once to access this challenge, because otherwise you only get to 2 Jads and that, and you won't get the full thing. So yeah, so I have to do the Inferno Cape, and I've still yet to get around to doing that, and I think, considering certain recent events, that will probably be a lot more difficult. Also, bear in mind, this is indeed 25th of January. Very special day indeed, though for reasons that might not seem obvious at the moment, but alas so. Anywho, all that aside, yeah, I believe that should be that. I reckon. Oh, well, only one other thing to mention here is, yeah, the smug mod Tyran, as part of the Jagex not really taking the buying and real training issues so seriously, is, yeah, he smugly taunted a Redditor that he soon was posting about a bad account and that. I forget, it was a. I fucking wish I had the text on that front, and I'll probably get it maybe after this. And that, but basically, yeah, he got retorted, you know, because he thought it was past a banned account. But basically, the guy retorted saying that, well, this isn't my account. This is a fucking, you know, account that requires you to look into it to get banned. And it's like, hum. Maybe you should be doing your fucking job and actually just doing this instead of having us, you know, raise these things for you and just play the lottery of which real world true or get the unlucky one and get banned. You know, that's the point. It's like they're forcibly fucking pushed to do the bare minimum rather than like doing the due diligence of actually taking the bong issue seriously. Ever since Mod Weef left, it's continuing to get worse, and even with the mod twist, they kind of keep an eye on it. It's like it's not gone worse, but it's balanced. Kind of like, yeah, I don't know if it's getting better or worse, but nah, there's needs to double down on it, and it's like, this is what I'm curious about. It's less of a, oh, I'm actually here to really combat the bomb, but rather to make it look like just do a little more than the bare minimum, and then it's like, you know, I wonder. There's also another thing called a door-to-face technique, but alas, I shall be speaking to that next time, for yes, this is about to run out, so until then, I shall speak to you guys very shortly. Till then, folks. Alright, and we're back for the second part, potentially third, depending how long this goes, of the 20th Runescape anniversary event. Indeed, those penguins, and yes, they're a unfortunate omission from the, you know, the usual social activities. You probably remember that alongside with the Mind Star and that living tree, I forget the exact name, Evil Tree? So I'm not talking about the Unveilers, I'm talking about that show kind of demi-boss kind of thing that would come out, like, I guess, rare occasion, you know. And if you manage to beat it successfully, you get a bunch of skill and supplies. Yeah, things to bring the community together. Yeah, those are all sorely lacking in RuneScape, you know. Because people have mentioned that Old School Runescape, not maybe RuneScape 3 to a degree, but more so Old School Runescape, is starting to feel more akin to a single-player RPG. And I think Iron's helped to push that narrative, because it's kind of difficult to make a boss where it is nigh on impossible to do solo, and you need to make it where an Iron can do it. You know, it decreases the dependency on other. And the only cases where, you know, where it's, I guess you'd have to depend on is when it's mandatory forced, like with Theatre of Blood, where I'm still a tad salty about that, because I would gladly do it by my own and not just see if I can, like, even if it's bloody, like, beyond difficult up there in Inferno, you know? I'd be more than happy to just give it an honest bash, and, well, if I could, I would, believe me, but well, that cough indeed. Where that came from, I have no idea. It's why he's even drinking that. Wow, that was a strange one. Apologies for that, but anywho, getting back to the news, because it's still a little early to show off this one particular little thing that I'm really keen to show off. Yeah, so, okay, so as far as yeah, the mod tyrant situation. I had a look at it, and I'll be honest, I kind of wish I'd saved it instead of just give it a glance. But yeah, it was something to do about how basically as to that was it the 470 mil that you've traded on the black market kind of thing. Like saying, oh, we've looked at your account, we see that clearly you're real world trading and all that. Basically accusatory. He doesn't really. Sounds like he knows, but he doesn't actually know. About jack shit. And yeah, he got countered, and because yeah, the fact you actually had to be pointed this out, and via a quote unquote appeal by a unknown redditor who has the time to know you be the person. It's like, yeah, burn was used quite a bit, the burn memes, and yeah, pretty much that was something to be said. But in regards to Mortown himself, it's like, yeah, I feel like Jagex has a certain level of arrogance to them, and I'm starting to notice with a couple other mods as well, but I'll get more to that later down the road, because believe me, this one update is going to need its own video, and you'll probably know what I'm talking about here, and in the current climate of RuneScape, and yes, 25th of January again, so bearing that date in mind, you'll know what's the obvious one, and but I shan't say any more till near the time, so without the way, indeed, let's move on. So yeah, next up what I've got here is, yeah, in regards to this, I guess what would be relatively non-YouTube, I've never heard of him anyway, Lazarbeam, and it's a YouTuber with 70 million subscribers, so not RuneScape affiliated, he's just kind of a bit you decided to kind of hit on the scenes with RuneScape, one of those people, yeah. Anybody remember Soldier Boy? Yeah, cause I've never heard him mentioned since, so I guess he's fucked off and all the fans with him, so wait with that as you will. So, he does a one-off Old School Runescape video, and I guess to kind of cover it, see what's all what's, gonna get a bit of attention, which is, I guess, a nice little gesture, you could say, and that. However, there was some suspected real-world trading, because early on, he got a lot of wealth, and that seemingly out of nowhere, and it's a bit suspect. I don't know if it's because he's actually thinking about playing, and he just thought, oh, people think, oh, he's just gonna get donations and all that, because there was I think there was a few bound trade, it was like, big, but you wouldn't think that big, it's none rolled out, it's kind of, could be, might not be, but who knows, and I mean, I heard he also potentially be able to trade others, but that's up in there, really, so. Yeah, meanwhile, Old School RuneScape's main problems, yes, in regards to the rampant gold farming operations, and yeah, I've got this listed here as 4 different ones. First one, and this is fucking massive, botting and gold farming. The two are combined together to be the one, because they both have the same effect. Essentially, with this, just like, it's really ramping up to the days of RuneScape 2, also that Electro Walk place, yes, unfortunately, that's not accessible for us free-to-players. Unfortunately, despite the fact it is fucking useless for members, but hey ho. Yeah, so with regards to the bot and gold farming scene, indeed, that's one of the biggest ones. There's also, you've probably seen the Grand Exchange, all the bots, mention websites and try to scam you and that. Yeah, website phishing and scamming spams. Yeah, those ones are really bad as well, and that become more and more prominent. That you could say, well, just go members. Nope. They're actually starting not just to be on all the worlds, but even I heard a few cases of lower totals, like 1250 and the 1500 worlds, not even they are safe anymore. Like, probably had to cancel if I had to gather, because no way would you trace spam bot just for that. And I would be surprised, even maybe the occasional one for 17, 15 upwards starts popping up if people get hacked, just say they've got. But chances are, if they're that highly trained, they're probably also just going to be used to, like, why would you use an account for that when you could just use it to buy other shit, That kind, but regardless, yes, so indeed that's the second one. The third one is indeed vanilla client neglect, though I have said that they have somewhat improved this with the whole, I guess you could say the update to the vanilla client did work to some degree. I'm just not a big fan of it. It's like weird and janky, and that, I was hoping like also that, yeah, he's kind of fucked off and that was a telepod, oh well. But, yeah, essentially, as far as that's concerned, and that, I feel like it's halfway there, but it's just, yeah, I'm not a big fan of, that weird resizable stuff, and it's just, nah, not for me. And finally, the fourth one is the lack of customer support. Essentially, this has become a meme at this point, and now where essentially Jagex just doesn't want to face anything. Just got fuck all, and as far as putting money into putting in deal with real people. As far as I'm aware, with regards to customer support, I think Jagex, I'm pretty sure they used to have decent support back in the good old days of 2007, It seems to be still that a lot of companies just, they either don't bother with, or they literally outsource to places like India, Yes, that India, The problem with India, at the risk of sounding racist, I fear that with India, they've got a bad reputation in regards to, the tech scam calls and that, and I feel like they're just basically there to get the cheap side of customer support and that. It's like, a lot of free, cheap labour, or do we say free? Cheap labour, essentially. And now they'll do the bidding of more developed countries and that, and they'll just do just the minimum amount. They don't have to provide good customer support, it just has to be customer support. Even if that means that if you get an issue, and it ends up being, okay, you got this issue, go to this page, la-di-da-da, fuck off, and you go to the page, it doesn't answer your problems, but they've done something. Yeah, the customer support is very jank over there, but they do take their balance issues very seriously. If you get a balance issue, I'm pretty sure it doesn't even go by them, and that gets dealt with really seriously, because if they fuck up a billing thing and you then sue them, and that, they can be fucking held liable for that. And they're covering their bases very well, you could say, and legally speaking. I know that much because I've got to do the same with my job and that. So, clever. It's like they know where to invest their money. And but that's, of course, with Ifukong. Or I should say the Shell Company, but even that's now funny as of a very recent new transfer, but more on that down the road. So, yeah, essentially, this has grown to a huge, immense level of concern as, since Modwe've departed the RuneScape team, it's been a bit of a shitfest, but hey ho, well. So, right. Oh, actually, there's another thing I want to mention. Yeah, so getting to that last one standing Twitch thing, yeah. Right, what I want to say about it actually is that in regards to that, yeah, what I want to hit a note on here is that there's a reason why it was such a spectacular failure. You don't know the botting scene, right? You know how that's been happening. A lot of them have had their way, getting wins and all that. Occasionally getting interrupted, actually more so recently, getting interrupted by people just wanting free wins and all that. Yeah, guess what happened? Guess what happened with Last One Standing? So, like the top, I forget how many, I think it was 24 some backups. Yeah, about over 2/3 of them were bots. Bots managed to get into more than the majority of them were fucking bots. And it was just like, what a fucking disaster. And I mean, it's all based on who got the wins, but over half of them just fucking botted their way to it. And were completely, they just got picked because, they got the most wins at that time. Like, what the fuck? Bloody being a contenders list. And it's just, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this is one of the big things that makes it clear that the PvP scene is dying out, and it's just, this actually happened around the same time when it was reviewed on Reddit, alongside an expose of a underground gambling ring that was growing in the basement of the Varrock West Bank, and that was exposed and is now being reported to be shifting over to, interestingly enough, Rogue's Den, and yes, in Berthorpe. So it must be a member thing, because I mean, as far as I'm aware, they've never conducted themselves in free-to-play worlds and that, but yeah, so essentially with that said and all done, indeed it's just, there's a lot of shady business going on in Old School Runescape, that much can't be denied, and it's just, what the fuck do you even do? What the fuck do you do? Indeed. Also Queen Britka alongside Kai Foxfire. Indeed. Oh boy. Ah dear. Alright. Good. Right. So, this place right here, the magical realm of memories, yes. This is your kind of little reward for the 20th RuneScape anniversary event, and Oh boy. Well, I'll pause the news here because there is a lot to show here. A fucking lot. I'm just going to check here. Right, I've got about 31 minutes. Can I? Yes, I can. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just fast forward through this, and you'll see. Well, actually, what I'll do, fast forward here. Yeah, indeed. You remember these little monsters? Yeah, RuneScape 2. I've actually got some of these on my little RuneScape guide. You know, the 2006 one. And yes. Also, indeed, this one here, Pious Pete, and he who held a church kind of event for a few months, but people couldn't fucking figure it out with the long short candles. Yeah, apparently it was too confusing, and yeah, so basically they thought, nah, doesn't working, and plus round events were starting to kind of, not quite at that point, but they're starting to die out, you know, so yeah, they just fucking got rid of it. And yeah, so, indeed. Oh boy, this fancy stuff indeed. Hailing back to the days of the old ancestry heritage of RuneScape itself. Also these gnomes and that, yeah, green gnomes and all. And yet, that place indeed. Yeah, the little iconic entrance to. I think they already did this in the Faldor basement, if I remember correctly. Oh, yeah, just fast forward. So yeah, blue dragons, and also, if you're wondering, yes, those fuckers will hit you huge amount of damage. You saw the 23, that was no joke. That was a fucking blue dragon. Yep, indeed, those are nasty fuckers indeed. Like, holy, also, yeah, Chuck here indeed. This guy, I don't have any recollection for. In fact, I think actually one guy on Twitter might actually get him in because apparently he was that so, well, forgotten that even the Jagex moderator just have forgotten about him. But it's just because all this guy in Runescape Classic, Chuck, you know, the certificates, and, you know, thought, yeah, can I do that? Yeah, so this one guy could have been missed entirely. Though, he does look a bit, I don't know if he has any resemblance to the famous American Chuck Norris. Alright, apologies about that, folks. Yeah, I think the camera battery had died once more, yeah. Seems to be that that's becoming more of a frequent thing, this camera being a bit old and all, but hey ho well. So, I suppose going on carry on the usual fashion, yes. Let's fast forward through this nonsense, shall we? Indeed. So, pretty much in regards to, yeah, the rest of this, it's just the usual shenanigans of revisiting history, as it were. Yeah, going back to the good old days of RuneScape and all. Yeah, just fuck me, the early RuneScape 2 days. Again, also, oh, actually, what am I doing? Yeah, don't fast forward through these. Yeah. Indeed. Oh boy. Oh yes, Phil here, Thrander, and indeed with the whole plate armor, plate legs shenanigans, and yeah, apparently, I don't know if that would still be. I feel like this is the kind of thing that would be exploitative in terms of, yeah, the economy kind of thing. But apparently, plate legs became way more valuable than plate skirts, simply because they just look cooler and that, you know. So I guess that's why his service was fucked. But then when you look at today and that what's been like for Old School for years. It's not really changed, and that, you know, it's just pretty much. Well, actually, no, on anything, went back to the old days of just like, you know, the pro days where it's just they were all the same in value and that. But yeah, I guess the services aren't really needed anymore, and or rather, I guess they would be too economically inconvenient and that. But alas, there you go. Also, this cabbage and ash. I don't know what these two. I guess cabbage has a bit more significance, but ash, I'm not very sure. I guess they're just there for God knows why, but. Yeah, you see that? Also, if you pay close attention to those little fire braziers, I'm not very sure. Yeah, you see little runes things in there. But yeah, the sleeping bag indeed. If you remember RuneScape Classic episode way back in, I think, 25, 26, indeed, that was a thing. And yet, the sleeping bag, yeah. Back when you need to restore fatigue and all, but it became an inconvenience for human players. Those bots were able to work around it, and it was just, what even? Oh damn, what even? Well, so I reckon, yeah, I think they obviously covered all the little fights here, though I do intend to, any moment, show off the big dragon fights. Also, yeah, the demons, like, that's the one I've not covered yet. Yeah, getting a load of camera hammering at them. But not before, we talked to, yeah, this guy was apparently around in the very early days of Old School Runescape. and that, and very much so, yeah, he offered clue scrolls, buyable clue scrolls at that. Yeah, no, I wasn't around during this time, and that, in fact, I didn't even remember Virtue Power till about, I want to say April, May of 2016, by which he was long gone. And that, yeah, god damn. Right, so, yeah, pretty much last little bit of fight here, we'll get to the real exciting stuff, and that, oh boy. Yeah, indeed. So, with regards to these little black demon fights, whilst I go on with this, let me just check here. Also, I'll need to push that a bit. Thank you. There we go. Yeah, so as far as... Oh, yeah, actually, I have a big thing to show off later on down the road. And that, yeah, so... In regards to, yeah, pretty much the news and that, yeah, I do believe I figured out what that GG part was for, and that's pretty much the whole, what is it, Gielinor Gazette. And yeah, this whole thing, you know, and it's just like, what the fuck even, yeah. Apparently, yeah, they missed not only October of 2020, but also November, like 2 whole articles of this. Just kind of gave up. And also, yeah, indeed, you see here, that Black Demon was fucking tough. Also, some guy, yeah, apparently he was not amused at us having fun and punching Black Demons to death with a twisted bow and fucking staff and messing around and all. Yeah, I wasn't going to do the dragons without food because, yeah, they have their dragon breath. And the problem is, I think I could have done it for, I'm just surprised I didn't do it for Seth Skylar, but here's the problem, he's not done Dragon Slayer. And with the update, you can't quite grant the anti-fire shields without having done it or got to that point. So, yeah, we were both doing it without any proper anti-fire protection. The only thing we could do is protect from margin and just fucking pray to God we don't get fucking whacked to death and that, you know, it's just... God damn. But, yeah, so with this kind of come to a conclusion, just the only thing left is the boss fights, quote unquote. I figured, probably what I'll do is I'll just leave them playing at the regular speed and that, and you'll see how long it fucking takes. Yeah, so without further ado, yes, I'll just check here. Good. Alright. So, what I'm going to do here is, yeah, pretty much, obviously I've said about Gielinor Gazette, that's all covered. Yeah, just pretty much hammer on through the news and that, and we'll get right through to the end. And because after this, I'm going to want to talk about one really big thing. It's made some interesting developments. Also, I fucked up. I unfortunately equipped like the legs and the head of that, and just fuck me. Yeah. What a fail. And oh my, it's about as pretty as you'd imagine, yeah. Yeah, I was a fucking spastic, so I just thought, fuck it. I should have probably kept the cape. Like, yeah, the cape still looked good. And now, you know. You see that? And then the cape went, and now I can't equip it, so... Yeah, the cape kind of sucks, but oh well. I've now got a more Victorian look to myself, you know, and I've still got that look to this fucking day. Until I go back to being, what's it? Oh, I fucking forget. What would you say? Oh yeah. Also, yeah, fuck me, half wine full jugs are like so cheap. And that, my god, that is abysmal. Fucking. Yeah, and also selling that. I've held it for ages. I just found out it's time to get rid of that at last. And, well, here I have it. So, alright, commencing shortly will be the dragon fights. The blue dragon, the red dragon fighting the black dragon, all in their classic forms. Yeah, so I'll let you enjoy that whilst I commence with the news. So, okay, something's a bit more recent and that, yeah. So, obviously this is going to tie in quite quickly. And yeah, the Old School Runescape Steam beta announced. And yeah, it's recently actually been now fully put ahead. Also, yeah, some guy, you know, getting attention, yeah. Indeed. Beggars, bot beggars, and all that fucking jazz. Yeah, so pretty much this Steam announcement's been kind of waited for a long time for multiple reasons. Not only because I think Steam is just a big game scene in general, so people getting attracted to it, you know, can bring more attention. But also the fact that pretty much in regards to RuneScape as a whole, I think there's that problem with the, what's it? Yeah, the problem in regards to RuneScape's, how shall we say this, the little login error problem. If you recall, there's been that huge kind of catastrophe where people are like, yeah, people can't log into their accounts anymore and that because some dickwads spamming the, you know, basically they know your email and that's how you get it. So you can not know the password, but as long as you spam their username, you can't access it, and then they double it down with pretty much trying to get your, not your email, your password. So they know your email, they send you fake passwords, and then hopefully they get the right time, you click one of them, it's a fake one, and then they get your password, and then there you go. And that, you know, just pretty much good, do it from there, and that, just, yeah, it's fun, I'll say that much. But yeah, what you're about to see is some epic tier fist fighting with blue dragons, followed by red dragons, and finally black dragons. Shall we win against all three? We shall find out. Oh boy. My god. Yeah, I gotta say though, in regards to all this fighting, it's like, holy fuck. Yeah, probably I'll do here, I'll need to do some fly adjusting. Yes, video speed. If I can find it, there we go. Oh, there we go. So, starting at double speed. Yeah, so it's not going too fast, but still going not in tolerable pace all the same, or quickly fast one at that. But yeah, so as you see here, a blue dragon is about to get his big boy fat ass killed just by mere fists and that, you know. Yeah, not a very hard fight and that, but you know, still a bit of a challenge. You know, it's like, see with that, blue dragons are indeed piss easy, dead. So, that was number one taken care of. So, then we get to the second one, the red dragon, and oh boy, this is going to be a little fun one. Not so easily taken care of as a blue brother, and that, certainly not. And it'll be a fun fight indeed. But yeah, so, whilst that's all going on, I'll be covering the news. And yeah, so with regards to the beta, yeah, that prevents the whole login error, because seemingly it's done differently and the systems can bypass it. So yeah, that's a kind of a fix towards it. If you can get access to the Old School Runescape Steam one, then yeah, that's a surefire way of getting around it instead of having to mess around with VPNs or hopefully Jagex taking pity on you or something. You know, it's not any of that anymore. But yeah, all that aside, that's been announced recently. Well, it's not. It's been now be a thing recently, so people are now able to actually use it. And with the little Old School Runescape Steam, I think it's actually not long released now. So yeah, I'll be keen to check that one out myself and that. But yeah, so next question, article here. Yeah, so Frame, the famed Wildy guy, and that pretty much covered all sorts of Wildy shenanigans. Yeah. He's been recently getting backlash, well I say recently, I'm talking about over a month ago, but yeah, back then recently, getting backlash for suggestions on pretty much the PvP is dead video, you know, pretty much that kind of like, oh, PvP's dying, you know, people are not going to World anymore because people just don't want to engage. Think about it this way, it all comes down to Zora. Zora was the big shift. When Zora came out, big mark system money and good uniques. Fuck yes. And it's not even wildy. And better yet, it's instanced. So it's not even like you're competing. That was when the PVM stuff in wildy started truly dying. Because people thought, why the fuck, like, well, the wildy bosses, you know, okay, they're good money, but you have to constantly risk. And it's like, why would I want to do that? You know, and it just got worse and worse from there. Being Vorkath's essentially Zora back then, before it was nerfed. Except this time it's official, they're not going to nerf Vorkath, at least I don't think so. If they have nerfed him, it's only been once. Also, camera shift. Not me. Right. Oh, fuck. Got to say, trying to shift this is fun indeed. There we go. Oh, boy. Sort of shenanigans you got to deal with when you're doing with this stuff indeed. But, yeah, so essentially with regards to that, I mean, I've made it my opinion clear in regards to the Wildy. I don't really gauge the Wildy for clues at this point, and yeah, it's just what can you even say about it? But yeah, Red Dragon defeated, and now the big bad, the Prince Black Dragon of RuneScape, a la, I guess you could say, Old School Runescape, and yep, he is fucking decimated me. No armour, only fighting fists. Yeah, you can bet your fucking ass. If I protect melee, then the Dragonfly would just fucking shred, hit like 50s, 60s, it'd be like, nah. It would be impossible. So, yeah, see if we win this one or not. With individually two people fighting, I don't think so, but well. So yeah, with regards to getting back to Framed, yeah, he suggested things like, what is it? In regards to the lure sculpting, he had a controversial opinion where he didn't really address any of that sort of stuff. You know, like Brits just said, oh, it's a risk in the world, you got to take it. You know, and if you're smart, you'll avoid it. That's not the point though. The PvR is like, when you're trying to fight back anti-PK, it's pretty much, you don't... One thing you don't know is, one, is the person who is fighting you got a clan who's ready to like bat them up in an instance? And you know, basically when you think you're done, you know, you end up getting, you know, killed and all that, and it's just like, yeah, you know, that kind of thing where a clan comes in and just starts specking the fuck out of you, or if it's a multi, they just take over for them. And two, even if it's just a single person, or two people technically, you know, it's the whole thing about being skull tricked and that, you know, like, I think there's an example of this in multi, I think, and that if you ice barrage somebody, but there's someone right next to them who you haven't attacked yet, then you get skulled for that. And it's like, then suddenly you're a much more juicier target, but most people don't have the sense to use ice barrage, so that's good. But even then, yeah, PKers have that problem as well, and it's just like, yeah, it's basically exploitation to try and get as much money from you as possible, playing within their rules, not yours. So people just get sick of that game, and then they just get the fuck out of the world, you know, only coming for clues and things like that. And well, recent events by Jagex have shown they're still kind of shoehorning the whole, oh, we'll get PVMers in here, and it probably will most certainly backfire and just, well, that's part of the whole nerves thing, but we'll get onto that in next video, because honestly I have quite the thoughts on it indeed. Oh, Christ. And you see here, yeah, run out of food and we're doing crap. It's just like, yep, you're going to get fucked. And not dead. Oh, Christ. Oop, I'll just get that. Oh, fuck. Yeah, there we go. And yep, dead. Wow. So, yeah, pretty much. That, as I say, is that. Yep, pretty much. Didn't manage to beat the Black Dragon, but we give it a good go on 2 counts in that. It's just like, fuck me. Yeah. Ah, boy. The shenanigans, The shenanigans. Speaking of which, yes, as you see here, indeed. Yep. So, why am I at this place here? Yeah, you'll probably wonder, well, the answer is simple. Crafting. And I couldn't even be bothered for that. Yeah, pretty much like crafting the... yeah, these ruby necklaces and that. Yeah, pretty much. I would actually show my bank, but I'll probably save it for the next video. Also, just so, yeah, I don't get any kind of fuss in regards to the pins and that. Yes, indeed, if I do this. No, thank you. There we go. So, yeah, pretty much just going to be kind of chilling out here. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this armour, because it's like, it's kind of pish, if I'm being honest. What I could actually do, oh, I can't even show you if I wanted to, yeah, with the gilded armour, I might try that, ditch just armour, because I mean, it's nice, but it's not like, I think everybody has it, more or less, and I mean, it kind of looks alright, if I'm being honest. It's not too bad a match, there's bits of green, actually not really, but the green hair matches with it, so it's like, yeah, it's not too shabby. Like, I'm still blown away, like, even like way down the road with this lovely twisted boy. You can't say it doesn't look good. It's just, nah. This is a classy weapon in all retrospects, and that is fucking classy. And that, so yeah, pretty much just kind of chilling out with that, you know, and just Anyway, getting back to Framed again without getting cut off, yeah, in regards to that, not only with the Lord Skull train, there's also a thing called Entangle Spearing, and like, this is the thing, to bear in mind, for what I understand, he wasn't necessarily against, like, not, how can I phrase it? It's like, he was kind of, in a way, probably obviously I misspoke on that regards to Lures and Skull Train. I think it's the problem for, okay, you're against this, you're against that, but you still want PvEers to come in and be lures as bait for PKers who will then no doubt entice some of them to be Skull Trip with their devious tactics, and therefore you're indirectly supporting Skull Train anyway, even if that's not your intention. So it's kind of, yeah, it's not very well thought out, people just don't like that cat versus mouse prey kind of thing anymore. It's a game there, just, I think probably back in 2007 this was probably still quite a relatively cautionary, and this is the problem, like, things don't, what might work back 10, 15 years ago, even if it was like really good, may just be outdated, and that's the problem a lot of people can't get their heads around, is that some things will, gameplay wise, even become dated over time, and it's like, as an MMORPG there's a duty for that to be changed. It's not like with an old game, way back PS1 during the mid to late 90s or anything like that, or even before. It's just, that's the game at its time, if you don't like it, don't buy it, don't play it, play something that's more modern. With RuneScape though, the version's always been updating, so it's kind of in the sense of, you have to keep trying in that, like, updating it as you go along, and the refusal to change that's quite a testimony. In fact, they strongly believe that this whole luring PVMers to world, that's their genuine vision for bringing PKs, and I can understand from the PKers point, like, getting that thrill and that, and also the thrill of escaping, that most people just don't like that, and it's the minority versus majority here, that's the problem, and I feel like Jagex is indeed listening to the minority of the PKers, so yeah, it's interesting, I'll say that much, very interesting indeed. Right, okay, so I have one last little thing to show off. What I'll do here, if you'll excuse me for a second, right, I'm going to show off something just for a brief moment here, and you'll wonder, why the fuck are we on Microsoft Word and that, yeah, scrolling for my notes and all that. Yes, what is this? And what is this? Also, oh fuck. Alright. Yeah, what the fuck is this? Notes on these things here. Yes, Crumb Store figurines. So you're thinking, oh, so we're going to get something very exciting here. What I'll have to do here, I'll zoom in all the way so the background white. And yes, if you'll excuse me for a second. Yes. I have quite the surprise to show you, and I'll show it right here. Pulling up the camera. Behold, for I actually do have something into a ninth pet I didn't really quite say anything about. But brace yourselves, and I'm probably going to look like a tit showing this off, but here goes. Vorkaf, yes. This is probably, the light's probably not very good. Actually, yeah, I realised this doesn't show the light very good at all. What I'll do here, I'll improvise if I can find a torch, or actually better yet, I'll use my phone. Yeah, I thought the light background would have worked. It doesn't. Oh boy. Yeah, you're not going to see the quality if you can't fucking see the light, so, alright, I'll pull this out a bit further. About there should do it. Now, Vorkaf. Now, you see here, in regards to the impeccability of it, actually what I'll probably have to do, pull this out further still, yeah, because the camera's not going to pick this up very good, and that, indeed. Now, Vorkaf, look at that, eh? Quite the beauty, if I do say so myself. Especially given the little attention to detail, like, for you see the example, like the little bit, the eyes, the wound, and everything, it's just like, my god, is the attention to detail impeccable. Truly is. And I don't do this very often, like, with regards to Crumb, I've always spoken at length, he's one of the better guys on RuneScape as a whole, but it's just like, holy fuck. The actual detail itself is quite
incredible. And it's just like, yeah, I'm not going to say that, alright, one thing here, yeah, please treat these with respect, and that, like, in the first week and that, like, the little chip here, that was me, that was not Crumb, and that, like, a little bit, yeah, treat them with respect, they are fragile, and I'm glad I was just a little toe instead of a fucking foot, leg, wing or anything, yeah. These wings are not as strong as this message implied, that's no joke, but otherwise, very good product, and despite a little toe on that, I guess I can overlook that, so yeah. Indeed, ninth pet indeed. I hope that's to get the in-game version sooner rather than later, but we shall see. So I guess I'll leave you off with this one here. Just fuck me, this beauty of a figurine, and I do hope I get more in the future. I truly do hope. And yes, here's hoping for the Fire Alchemical Hydra. That's my personal wish list. If not the Calphite Queen, that would be splendid, absolutely splendid. But yeah, I reckon I'll see you then, folks, and well, till then.